And I'm here. Sorry, guys. I was pouring a tasty beverage when this thing actually went live. Hello, and I know it's been a while. It has been a long time since I've done anything on this channel, and that's not because I didn't want to. It's because I've been ridiculously busy, super stupid busy. Because you don't just have the. I think the last time I was around probably before Halloween. You had Halloween, uh, birthdays, holidays, Thanksgivings, work, hanging out with the family, the girlfriend, all that kind of stuff. Real life will always take precedent over fun stuff like doing this channel. I haven't even swapped out my calendar yet. It's still on October. That's how long it's been. I have even barely been in this office, hardly at all. I have not been doing diddly squat except just focusing on life itself. Mike B is in the chat. Sir, I've been busy. Busy. You want to know when the last time I was in a cemetery was? Louisville. That was at the beginning of the year. Louisville was the last time I had the time to go to a cemetery and actually shoot footage and do anything for this channel. But I've been out of footage. I've been out of footage for a hot minute. Um, but I have plans for a video that I'm hoping this next week, this upcoming week, I'll be able to escape from my life and go shoot that and work on it a little bit. So that'll be like the New Year's project kind of thing, because with Christmas coming up and some family coming into town and all that kind of stuff, I'm not going to have the time to go out and do cemeteries and all that kind of stuff. Um, Weeping Willow is in the chat. Girl, if you aren't too busy, you can jump in this live stream if you want. You just let me know. I will send you the link. But today I was at work. For those of you who don't know, the job I have has me waking up at 3 a.m., has me working a ton, and I just, by the time I get home and feed the kids and hang out, uh, I'm exhausted, and I got to be in bed by like 9 o'clock. Oh, Weeping Willow has to leave in 30 minutes. Oh, bummer. Yeah, well, I just figured um, I wanted to jump on because today I was at work and I was just thinking about the channel and thinking about how I have not done diddly squat with it. And I didn't want you guys to think that I was just like disappearing, that I didn't care about the channel anymore, about this community. I absolutely do. I just have not had the time. You can ask Ron. Like I'm always busy. And so that's kind of how I've been the last while. So I decided I was gonna grab me a tasty beverage and come on here and hang out a little bit, explain to you guys what I've been doing uh, since I haven't been doing this. And if you guys had any other questions, if you guys just wanted to chit chat, that's what this is for, to hang out, have fun. We got 7 people here. We got Spitfire, we got Weeping Willow, and Canadian Bacon, my boy. Which you are due to put out another video. Come on, let's go. Everybody wants to see some meat cooking in the smoker. And also we got Mike B here. This isn't going to be a terribly long live stream, guys, because Dazzler is in the house. I've actually got to make dinner. I got the girlfriend coming over for dinner. So I gotta make some chicken fajitas. But that's kind of how it is. I've been super busy with. You would think I would have been not doing the Ghostbuster stuff too much after Halloween, but actually it gets a lot busier after Halloween because Christmas parades. You would be surprised how many people want Ghostbusters in their Christmas parades. And I've already done one Christmas parade, and I've got 2 more this weekend. Where myself and my boys and a couple friends jumping into the Ecto and going and doing a couple Christmas parades around here. The big ones that we're doing this weekend is we'll be in Tulsa at the big Tulsa Christmas parade that's in downtown Tulsa. It's pretty huge and awesome. It's televised. It's pretty awesome. My ecto won't be in that parade because of the limited space. It took me too long to figure out if I was going to be able to do the parade, but we will be with the rest of Ghostbusters hanging out in that parade. And then there's another one in a town not too far away on Route 66 in Sapulpa that we'll be doing that night. So that's kind of what I'm doing this weekend. And then, Christmas shopping and hanging out and that kind of stuff. I'm hoping to get to some cemeteries here soon. Like I said at the beginning of this live, there is a project I want to do. I think I can manage the time next week. It's kind of like it's not necessarily investigation. It's more of a true crime type thing that I'm going to be going and taking a look at, giving you guys the history of, but it also involves going to a cemetery in the process. So it's something I've been kind of toying around with for a few months now because I discovered the location. It interested me enough. I did some research. I want to tell the story of what happened there. I just have not had the time to get out there and go check it out and do a proper episode on it. So that's my plan for next week, hopefully, as long as nothing else happens. If I'm looking at my calendar, it should work out for next week. And I will get something done. I don't know if it would come out right away but hopefully if I can go shoot it and all that kind of stuff, I should be able to get it done in a couple weeks so that you guys can have something coming out on the channel. I say this every time. I want to do more live streams. I want to hang out with you guys, get Weeping Willow and the Canadian Bacon on here. Any other friends who want to drop by. But it's really difficult for me to do that because really Wednesday nights are the only time I can do live streams, and half the time something comes up and I'm busy. So that's kind of where I'm at. Mike BS, good question. A good question. Am I going to do a 2025 calendar? No, because my 2024 calendar, I didn't sell hardly any of them. Literally, so the 2023 calendar, I probably have 2 left. I made 40 and I sold pretty much all of them. You guys in the community were awesome. You guys were interested in the calendars. I sold so many that at one point I was like, I don't know if I have one for myself. I kind of freaked out a tiny bit. But I did. I found a couple that had been left on a bookshelf down here. So I have, I think 2 or 3 that I'm keeping for myself. But the 2024 calendars, these ones, which I really enjoyed because they included photos that I had taken in cemeteries over in Scotland when I went. I have a ton of those. I probably sold maybe 10 calendars when I did that. I've got a big old stack of them somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. I know I've got more than this, but I've got a ton of these calendars, and obviously they're kind of useless now, which sucks. I like doing the calendar project. I thought it would be something cool I could do every year to raise a little bit of money for stone cleaning, for location fees, for gas money, that kind of stuff. And after the first year, I thought, yeah, I could do that. That made enough money to pay for a location, made enough money to do a bunch of driving around and get some equipment for the stone cleaning. That was great. So I did it again, and there just wasn't the interest, unfortunately. And these are expensive to make. It takes a lot of time for me to go through, edit the photos, pick the photos, get it designed, get it all put together, send it off to the printer. And it costs a couple $100 to do that. And when there's no return on investment, it's not worth it to me. I don't have that kind of money to put out calendars. And it's not like I was making a ton of them. I think I did 50 this year. I made 50 calendars. I think it was either 50. Yeah, it was about 50 because I did so well with the 40 that I made the year before. So I just did a few more, and then it just didn't take off like I hoped. So unfortunately, the calendar is probably not going to make a return anytime soon. But I like them. I think they're cool, but I don't need 40 calendars sitting around of pictures I already have. So unfortunately, no calendar, but thanks for the interest, man. Mike asks, are you going to do a stone cleaning video? I wanted to do more stone cleaning videos this year. Unfortunately, like I said, I just didn't have the time to go to cemeteries as much as I would like. So I didn't get to do a whole lot of stone cleaning. And right now it's too cold to really do that. It's cold because it's wintertime. When wintertime rolls around, you don't really want to do a whole lot of stone cleaning because you're spraying these stones down. You're getting them all wet. It's cold at night around here. Freezing temperatures they do happen. And if you have a stone that's very porous, it's got a lot of cracks in it, maybe because of its age, and you've cleaned it up, kind of thing. That liquid that I use, the D2 is the liquid. The water that I use to rinse it off, it gets into those cracks. If it doesn't dry properly at night, if it gets below freezing temperature, that liquid turns to ice. It's not a whole lot. It's not like it's a ton, but when the water turns to ice, it expands a little bit. And even that kind of pressure inside of a crack in a stone can damage the stone more than it's ever going to help you cleaning it. So until spring rolls around, I probably won't be doing any stone cleaning videos just because I don't want to take the chance of damaging a stone that I'm trying to preserve. So that kind of sucks. Plus, I was in a car accident not too long ago. The reason I have my Ecto is because I was in an accident. I'm totally fine. I didn't get hurt at all, but my car was totaled. But one of the damages that happened to that car is the trunk got smashed in. And that's where my stone cleaning stuff was. I was keeping it in the trunk of the car in case I happened to have time to stop and check out a cemetery and clean some stones. Well, that trunk, like everything flew around so much that my stone cleaning stuff got broken. My D2, a jug of D2 was smashed and blew up all over the trunk. Like pretty much everything in the trunk I couldn't salvage because it was just covered with D2. So that sucks. So that's another thing I've got to replace anyway. So I'll save up some money. I'll get some more D2. I'll get a new sprayer. I'll get the tools up again. It doesn't take too much, but it is what it is. Spitfire Kev asks, when are you coming to Britain next? Probably not for years. Unfortunately, I do not have international travel money. Like that's not something I have on the docket anytime soon. I would love to go back to Scotland. I would love to go to Ireland. I would go to the UK in a heartbeat. There's no chance for that right now. Unfortunately, with the job I have, it does not give me a whole lot of free time. My schedule's pretty full and it's inconvenient. Vacation time I have to literally plan a year in advance for all my vacation time. Like I had to tell the company I work for last week when I'm taking my 2 weeks off. And it has to be like you have 2 weeks. You got to take them separate from each other. You have to battle it out with everybody else who has seniority above you for what weeks you can take. So I literally just before 2025 have to pick 2 random weeks in 2025, and those are the weeks I get off. And then I got to kind of plan my life around that. It's stupid. But with that, just only having 2 weeks off and having it be kind of random, there's no real chance for me to plan a trip like that right now. But hopefully in the future, I do want to go back across the pond one of my weeks that I've picked out, I'm earmarking for a trip to New Orleans. Finally, going to go to New Orleans. I will be going to a bunch of cemeteries. I will be doing a bunch of videos. So look for that in the future. That's going to be in a few months. But I cannot wait for that. That's been on my bucket list for a very long time. And so I knew in 2025, one of my vacation weeks was getting earmarked for New Orleans. So that is the plan. And I'll, as soon as like I know what's going on with that trip and when I'm going and kind of what I'm planning on shooting, I will let you guys know. No problem. But I've never been there, and I really, really want to go. I haven't even drinking any of my tasty beverage yet. It's hard doing this by yourself because you gotta keep talking. What else do you guys want to know about? Hey, Paige. Paige is in the chitty chats. Ooh. That there is an espresso Yeti. It's an imperial stout. It's a big one too. Still a little in the can. But what else? What else, guys? I kind of want to do if I can get out and travel a little bit more in this upcoming year. I really want to do more stuff with Cemetery Road in terms of more cemeteries. I want to do more stone cleaning than I did before. I really wanted to do that in 2024, but I could not get the time. It sucks. But I also want to do like some travel vlogs. Like if I'm going to go out and travel 6 hours in one direction to hit all the cemeteries I can find, I also want to have an accompanying travel vlog of like, oh, hey, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. These are some sites I'm seeing. This is, find a brewery, find some barbecue, do that kind of stuff and get that out too. I think some of those videos would be more membership stuff because I still have memberships available on this channel. And I do have some members on this channel still, which is surprising since I don't put out a whole lot. But I do want to make the memberships worth it. So making extra content for the members is kind of, I'm focusing on that come the next year. Mike who has been a member for 33 months. Cassie Weeping Willow, been a member for 35 months. It is really hard to imagine that I've been doing this channel for this long, which is awesome, which is another reason why I really just need a kick in the pants to get some more content out for you guys, even if it's for live streams or anything, just anything to keep in contact with you guys. Mike B, member for 32 months. So yeah, that's my plan is, some stuff for the members out there. I want to do like a members only sticker, like get that made and kind of sent out to the members and that kind of thing. I just want to do more. I love the fact that I got to go to Louisville and film all of that content and be able to take a break. That was one of the things is like, I can take a little break. I don't have to be out every week trying to find more cemeteries and stuff. I can take a couple months and just relax and just put out the content that I've banked. And Louisville allowed me to bank a lot of locations so that I could just sit back and edit and release once a week. And that's great. But then when I found myself having no time to go out and travel and find these cemeteries, I was like, well, I've got like 3 more cemeteries from Louisville. I'll do one in every other week. And then next thing you know, I don't have any more cemeteries to put out. So I'm kind of stuck and I don't have the ability to go out and do more. And so that was unfortunate. And I just haven't had the time. And I don't want to come on here and kind of just half-ass a live stream if I'm super tired and I'm not feeling excited. I don't want to come on here and have you guys watch me be like, so I don't have anything to talk about. Like I want to come on here when I'm excited about what what the future is going to bring, and hopefully the future is going to bring some more Cemetery Road stuff here to you guys. In fact, if you guys are interested in the Ghostbuster stuff I do, which is basically just dressing up like a Ghostbuster and going to do like charity stuff, I'm going to a Christmas parade. I can definitely film Christmas parade stuff for you guys. I was planning on doing a little bit of that, filming the last parade I went to, but it was cold and everybody was trying to get the parade going, and I just didn't have the time. Plus, I was driving a big old car. But because I'm not driving a car in the Tulsa parade, I can definitely film some stuff for you guys. Connie in the chat, hello. But what other kind of stuff would you want to see on this channel? Like, I don't want to like go too crazy on the channel in terms of like getting too far away from what this place is supposed to be. It's supposed to be Cemetery Road. It's supposed to be discovering cemeteries and learning about cemeteries and really just capturing, those who came before us. I don't want it to go too crazy, but I figure travel vlogs, bringing you the experience of going and making these travels is something I think that it doesn't stray too far away from what this channel is supposed to be. And then the live streams, even though I think the live streams are kind of where the randomness kind of lives, talking about movies and food and beer and hanging out and all that kind of stuff. That kind of is reserved for the live streams. But if there's any other like content you would like to see that's more like in the vein of what Cemetery Road is, just let me know. I'd be super interested in hearing what you guys think, and then getting more ideas to film and chit chat about. I'm always down. Mike B says maybe do a video on cemeteries back east, colonial era. Absolutely, because I've only been over to the East Coast with this channel once, when I went to Boston with some friends, and I went to Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, which was a big bucket list check mark. I would love to go back to the East Coast and do more of that in the near future. Going to the East Coast is a more possible thing with the time off that I get versus like going across the pond. Jumping on a plane and going halfway across the world, a little difficult. Jumping on a plane and going somewhere on the East Coast, not too bad. Driving to the East Coast, it can happen. I mean, technically, I can get to the East Coast in a day. Weeping Willow's taking off. You rock, Weeping Willow, Cassie, and Ron. You guys are awesome. I will talk to you guys later, and we'll definitely have you guys on a live stream again soon. Generally, if I'm doing a live stream, they are here. But obviously, when I just randomly decide to jump on a live stream with 30 minutes notice, not conducive to having other people on. But, speaking of me being busy all the time, I've barely talked to those two, like in our private lives. Usually we talk to each other quite a bit, but it's been crazy. Mike O says Deep South cemeteries like Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, definitely, because that's a little bit easier for me to get to. I've been through Mississippi. Since I'm going to New Orleans, Louisiana is definitely going to happen. Alabama, I haven't hit Alabama yet. Haven't been to Alabama. I'm going to have to do that. Absolutely. I do want to get back down into Texas. There's a bunch of cool cemeteries in Texas that I want to check out. I wouldn't mind going up to Kansas. Heading over into Arkansas more is definitely a possibility. And just branching out, just kind of like pointing myself everywhere but west, really, because west, like, I really just want to travel east. Like, that's where my interest lies, because the more east you go, the older the cemeteries get, and the more weird they get, and the more I don't know if you have noticed as I've done these travels, is just the Canadian Bacon dropping a super chat. Thank you, sir. Um, there was on the East Coast as people came to America and colonized and all that kind of stuff. Like there was a definite old world feel and vibe to all their cemeteries, giant stones, mausoleums, um, very creative stonework, all that kind of stuff. But as you start traveling and moving across the country and the times change, it starts to get a little less interesting. I mean, they're still awesome and cool cemeteries all the way to the next ocean. Don't get me wrong, but there's definitely a change in how cemeteries look and feel as you go across the country. East is kind of where I'm more interested in, just because of the age and the style of stonework and the style of the cemetery setups. Um, and so that's kind of where I'm kind of aiming to take this channel at the moment. Canadian Bacon says, "Buy some beers, sir. Yummy indeed. I've got some good ones. Lots of porters, lots of stouts as the colder weather comes into its own here. I've got a beer full of cool porters and stouts right now, and this is just one of them. What else, guys? Hey, Betty. Betty is in the house. Thanks for joining me on this live, guys. I know I'm not around a whole lot, but I decided to jump on and chit chat with you guys, and it's cool to see y'all here. But what else? What else do you guys want to talk about? Give me some topics, and I will just ramble on until you guys get bored and leave. That's the plan. Or until I have to stop and go make dinner. I can usually, on my days off, maybe do live streams like kind of earlier in the day for the UK folks. For those of you in Australia, New Zealand, all that kind of stuff, y'all let me know. Because I know a lot of people are going to be watching this on Team Rewatch, just because this was a really random time for me to pop in here. But other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. Oh, I guess I could show you this. I got this from a birthday. I'm pretty sure I didn't have it on the last live stream. I can't remember. My mom sent me this, and I had seen it online, and I thought it was really cool. And it is really cool, but it also reminded me of how many places I still need to go. So, as you know, I also do paranormal investigation on the side whenever I can. It's not something I get to do hardly at all anymore. But my mother got me this cool haunted bucket list map where it's got a little ghost on various haunted locations. Like, let's see here, Jerome Ghost Town, Hotel Monte Vista, Shoshone Ice Caves, various places. And when you go to one of these places, when you visit one of these places, you get a little ghost. You get a little, I got a little bag right here. Little bag with all these itty bitty ghosts, cute little ghosts. And when you go there, you could just put the ghost in the little hole, and there you go. Now, as y'all know, we've been to I've investigated a ton of places. And this map does not represent every haunted place in America. It's just a lot of popular ones. So you can see where my ghosts are. I've been to a few of the ones on this map. Winchester Mystery House, been there. The Bodie Ghost Town, been there. Stoll Cemetery in Kansas. The Crescent Hotel, which I just recently went and visited. I would love to investigate there. Sloss Furnaces, I've been there. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, been there, definitely. Been there a couple times. And I think that's it for here. But there's a couple other places I want to check out, and obviously the East Coast, lots of places. But I thought this was pretty cool. I haven't almost lost a ghost. Haven't hung it up yet. I think I might put it somewhere Maybe you guys can't see it, but it would be like up there or something. But like I said, haven't done anything with it yet, but it's super, super cool. Um, you can find them online. I really enjoyed that, but I thought you guys would too. Laws from Oz. I'm awake. I'm awake slash up and multitasking, listening from the AU show. Come on. You know, nope. Doesn't want to. There you go. Laws from Oz. How you doing, girl? How's the F1 racing? I know you're huge in the F1. Uh, I think of you every time F1 goes to Vegas. It was in Vegas again this year. Seemed to be less chaotic than the year before, which was the first year. But I was like, Laws would enjoy that. Mike O says Jerome, Arizona is wonderful. I would like to check it out. Let's see, Jerome Ghost Town. Yep. Birdcage Theater is in Arizona. Hotel Monte Vista. There's a few places in Texas I haven't checked out. I've been to places in Texas, but none of those places. I need a bigger map. I need a much bigger map so we can add places that we've been. Ames is in the house. Ames says, I haven't been in a live for so many months, so everything is new to me. Glad to be here. Oh, I'm glad you're here too. Birdcage Theater is in Tombstone, Mike O says. I haven't been to Tombstone. I got to go there. Definitely. I am a travel nut, guys. I love road trips. I love traveling and seeing new things. I love small little towns out in the middle of nowhere. That's kind of my bread and butter. And also that's where you find the coolest cemeteries. Let's be honest. You get into big cities, the cemeteries kind of start suffering after a while. Law says F1 is finished for the year, but I got an Oscar. I'm not going to even try. Piastri Christmas sweater? That's awesome. Let's see. But yeah, the Arizona area, some parts of Texas, New Mexico. I would like to do a little bit more exploring of that area. I've been through there when I travel through on Route 66 because, as you all know, I'm from Reno, Nevada. Got to go visit every once in a while. I've been able to drive that stretch of highway that goes across New Mexico, across Arizona a few times. I haven't had a chance to journey off Route 66 in those states. So being able to kind of explore those states a little bit more would be pretty exciting. I also haven't done a whole lot up north area. I've only been up in this stretch once. I would love to do a little bit more of that. I would love to. One of the spots on here is a haunted cemetery. Again, investigating cemeteries, not really something I want to do on this channel. But Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is supposed to be one of the most haunted cemeteries in the country. And it's supposed to be super interesting anyway. So I want to go check that out because the history of these places is more what we do here on this channel. And listen, if I can go to a haunted cemetery and tell you guys all about the history of that, that's awesome. Whether I want to be in the cemetery when you're not supposed to and disrespect those buried there, no, I would not. But yeah, there's that. What else do I have handy around that I can show you guys? I got this cool Bluetooth speaker. Looks like an Ectomobile. Unfortunately, I got this and I'm like, cool, and it plays really well. It's a cool little Bluetooth speaker. You would think they would have made the wheels move, but they don't. It would have been fun to just roll this around while it's playing the Ghostbuster theme, but no, couldn't do that. I don't have anything within arm's reach that I could show you guys. Haven't really been buying a whole bunch of new stuff either, unfortunately. Got to save all the money for the adult things like bills and paying debt down and fixing a car that had a lot of issues when I bought it, such as my Ectomobile. I still need to do like a little like tour video of that thing. It's still a little rough. It's needs some work still, but when I bought the car, it needed a whole bunch of work done. Originally, we thought it was just a new water pump, but it turned out to be a whole lot of stuff. It was like chasing the rabbit down the hole type thing. You fix one thing, you find another thing, you find another thing. So it was in the shop for a month, little over a month, I think. And they got it to the point where I can drive it around, but it still needs some front end work. It's pretty rattly up front, with all the electrical stuff that's been done to it. Every once in a while, it gets a little hiccup. So when I like turn on the turn signal, after I've made my turn, I turn off the turn signal. It keeps going. You got to kind of fidget with it until it goes off. The headlights will stay on sometimes. You got to fidget with that to make them go. Like it's not a perfect car, but I have to pay off the debt of the first bunch of fixes, which shouldn't take me too long. And then I've got to take it back in for some more work to fix the front end issues and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. I know you've been busy, but did you get a chance to watch the video I sent about one of London's 7 magnificent cemeteries? I did. It's been a while, but those cemeteries are awesome. Like all the cemeteries outside of America just kind of blow me away. I would love to do some more traveling and go check that stuff out. Dazzler says, what if the cemetery has a story before you actually get to the burial grounds, like Tucker Cemetery by where I live? What do you mean? I'm a little confused by the question. Because there's a lot of cemeteries that they have a lot of history to them. Either there's famous burials there, or there's ghost stories, because a lot of cemeteries have haunted stories about them. Some of them blend together, which is something I'm going to be talking about here soon in a future video, about how a lot of places, a lot of styles of hauntings, they seem to have like the same origin story, like almost exactly the same origin story. And so you have to wonder, like, did they just like copy this story and the story of this haunted house or this haunted cemetery? Oh, we got a creepy cemetery, let's just, at some point somebody said, oh yeah, there's old man Smithers died in that house, and he was killed by a man with a hook. And then like 7 towns over, you got another house where old man Smithers was killed by a hook, and the next state over, you have an old man Smithers. Like that kind of storytelling, that urban legend thing, where maybe there was a place that had a grain of truth in it at one point, but that story just kind of like grew to urban legend status, and that's why everybody has a Craig Baby Bridge type thing. Cemeteries are almost the same way, especially when you look at the idea that like cemeteries, most people think they're creepy and spooky and scary. So of course they're haunted. There's dead people in there. Like, of course there's going to be ghosts, and the glowing tombstone, the tombstone that moves, the lady in white who, she flags somebody down, he picks her up, he drives her to the cemetery, she walks inside and disappears type thing. Lots of cemeteries have those types of stories. One of the cemeteries I visited, the name is escaping me, but it's not too far away. It's in where is that? I bet you it's on this map. No, it's not. There's a cemetery I went to where a convicted felon, serial killer, I think. I would have to go back and re-look at my notes on it, but he was put to death and buried right outside the cemetery, according to sources. He was buried right outside the cemetery grounds in an unmarked grave. Nobody knows exactly where, but his ghost is presumed to haunt the cemetery. But is it like, it's kind of hard for me to nail down some of these stories in terms of like, are they actual stories? Are they based in some sort of fact, or are they just one of those urban legends that happens to kind of just spread to location to location to location? I was kind of rambly on that one. I don't think I really answered your question, but that's what you got. What else, folks? What else you want to talk about? Bootsy's in the chat. Dazzler said, the entrance had a family home with a cellar to the left where it was said an old man Tucker killed his wife and kids there. The only thing left is the cellar, and things happen at the cellar. That's very similar to Stoll Cemetery. Stoll Cemetery in Kansas, in Stoll, Kansas, which Stoll, Kansas is literally like a couple of buildings and some farmhouses. It's not even a town, really. It's literally like 3 buildings and some farmhouses out in the way. But there's a cemetery there because it used to be more of a town back in the day, a farming community. That cemetery is said purported to be having a portal to hell. There used to be a church right there in the cemetery that had a basement, and there's stories about inside the basement there was a portal. There's stories about a witch being hung in the cemetery, and she cursed the place, that she's buried there, that the son of Satan is buried in that cemetery. Lots of different stories. There's no real fact around there. It's more of a ghost story that kind of got out of hand and became an urban legend that just tons of people believed. But the church fell in on itself. It basically just became a ruin, and then eventually like the roof fell in, and so many people were going to the cemetery because these stories became so huge, and they were knocking over stones, desecrating graves, causing a lot of havoc, that the people in Stoll were just like, no, forget it. So if you go there, like their signs say no trespassing on the cemetery grounds. They knocked down the church. Now it's just a pile of rubble in the trees and the bushes. It's reported that the basement, though, is still there, that you can possibly access the basement. I've been there. I didn't see any way to go into a basement or anything like that. But that's part of the history of this location. And that's why it's very important to be respectful when you go there or to any cemetery, because I know these stories exist and they can be exciting, and be like, well, I want to be there at night and see if there is a witch that comes out of the shadows or whatever. But don't do that. Don't do that. Find out the history, enjoy the story for what it is, but don't be disrespectful. But that kind of story that you're putting out there, definitely, I've heard that type of thing before. Law says it's interesting that cemeteries are referred to as the final resting place for the dead, but so many of the living go to them to find peace. It is true. And I think, I mean, there's a few different types of thoughts when it comes to cemeteries, and I think it's one of the reasons why we see cemeteries turn into what they are kind of now. Because it used to be a place where, you would bury your loved one. You would put an ornate stone, whatever you could afford, huge, giant ones, very ornate ones, small, little ones. But they used to be a place of respect and a place you would go to visit. A lot of cemeteries, they would basically be parks in a way. Like, yeah, that's where people are buried, but they put trees up and flowers up and fountains and grassy areas where you could picnic. It was, people treated the dead very differently and death very differently. They weren't freaked out by it. It was a part of life because, life was hard. People died. It was very common. As lifespans expanded and 40 wasn't old anymore. It was 70, 80, 90, people hitting 100. It changed. And as we moved across the country and separated families and friends, as we traveled and made new communities, it changed. And now cemeteries, as you watch as it crawls across the country, they're very sterile, small stones. You get those memorial gardens, which is basically just a grass field, flat stones. That's it. And people don't like going there. They don't spend time there. It became a place where people would gather to a place where people avoided at all costs, to where it's creepy to go into a cemetery. And that's not how cemeteries are supposed to be viewed. So it's very weird how that happened as people lived longer. Being reminded of one's mortality became not something people wanted to deal with. Betty says, not to change the subject, do you think a loved one that passed can come to you like my son? I have no idea. I do paranormal investigation because I'm pretty sure, I believe there is something out there. I don't know what it is. I've seen weird things. I've had weird experiences, but I can't tell you what any of that was. I would love to know, but I have a hard time believing that we as living creatures just cease. When these bodies fail us, it's very hard for me to imagine that that's just it. So sure, I think it's definitely a possibility. And there's no reason not to believe that. Dazzler said, it is a place you can read about on Oklahoma's Haunted Places. So the cemetery you're talking about. I will look it up. Definitely. What else, guys? I've been going for about 48 minutes. Probably going to cut this off 10, 15 more minutes, I think. Make it an hour-long live stream and me just rambling on. But what else would you guys like to hear about? One of the things I like is going to cemeteries in the wintertime when everything's covered in snow. And unfortunately, no snow. No snow over here in Oklahoma, which is a bummer. Got to go north, go find some snowy cemeteries. Because I haven't been to a snowy cemetery in a hot minute. But snowy cemeteries, fall time cemeteries, those are my favorite. Springtime, cool. Summertime, hot. But fall and winter, definitely awesome. Law says, speaking from personal experience, my mom comes to me every day through anecdotes and memories. I feel her presence around me all the time. I share that. I have people that have passed, and I feel like just keeping their memory alive kind of keeps them alive. Like, for instance, right now, so my grandma passed away a few weeks ago. And while I was rummaging around through stuff to put up for Christmas, there was a box, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's Christmas ornaments in here. I opened up a box, and it was an old ceramic Christmas tree that I had been given. I think my mom gave it to me at some point 10, 15 years ago. I was like, oh, I remember this. I haven't put this up like ever. Like I haven't set it out because it's one of these ceramic Christmas trees where you got the little plastic bulbs. You put it in the holes on all the branches, and you turn on the little Christmas tree, and it lights up, and it shines light through those little bulbs, and it looks all pretty and nice. But those bulbs were missing. I didn't get them when I got the tree. They've been gone forever. So I put this tree up, and when I went to go like put it on its base, because it's kind of a hollow tree part on a base where the light bulb is, underneath, it was written that it was given to my great grandma in 1978 by my grandma. And my great grandma is one of the women who raised me as a young boy. And so it was really nice to have my mom give me something that her mom gave her mom, that I loved all three of these women. And then I was able to put up in my house, and I went and replaced the little bulb things. And so it's sitting in my living room now. And it lights up, and I've got my grandma's obituary next to it. And it's really nice. And it makes me feel like my grandma's still hanging around, and by relation, my great grandma. And, you know, I feel like that keeps them alive as well. And I've heard way too many stories from my family. Like my mother, my great grandma told me stories about what she believed and what I also believed, based on her story of her parents visiting her after they had been gone for a very long time. Because she was my great grandma. She was like in her 70s when she told me the stories of how she was visited by her parents. And she truly believes like it was a visitation by her parents. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do when I investigate, when I chase this curiosity that I have, is because people I absolutely trust, who would not shoot me wrong, truly with their full hearts believed they had an experience that was paranormal, that was loved ones reaching back to them. And that makes me find it very hard to believe that's not possible. So that's kind of where I stand. Julie's in the chat, says, just got home from the dentist. No, thank you. No, thank you. Mike B says, my grandma had one. Are you talking about the Christmas tree? Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I had one in my room. Not this same one, but I had a similar one in my room when I was a little kid. It was my Christmas tree. I have no idea what happened to that thing. I don't think I have it. It may have been broken or something, but having this one that, you know, has this pedigree of coming through the family makes it really special. But what else, guys? What are you all doing for Christmas? I'm just sitting around. I got most of my Christmas shopping done. I'm pretty good about having it done and not like racing around at the last minute. But usually I'm like, I am done with my Christmas shopping, and then I end up racing around till the last minute, just like, ooh, maybe I should get this. Ooh, maybe I should get this. So far, I'm good. But that's about it. Julie says, being alone, not celebrating Christmas. Well, you can still celebrate. You can still, like, listen, just die hard, grab some popcorn and some wine. Boom, Christmas. That's it. That's how it's done. I'm going to have a house full of people. That's what happens when you got kids and kids' girlfriends and families and fiancés and girlfriends and brother-in-laws and everybody. But one of these days, it would be I don't know. See, every once in a while, I think it would be kind of nice to just like get a cabin in the woods in the snow one Christmas and just go there with Netflix, some books, and some beer, and just be away from everybody. But that's just me, maybe. But what else? As we wrap up, let me just, I guess, with the wrap up, because running on an hour, we got about 5 minutes left. I'll just give you a recap of what we've talked about. I've got no time. I've got no footage, but I've got an idea for a cool video I think you guys would all enjoy. That's kind of a true crime cemetery type thing that I hope I should be able to have time to go film next week on one of my days off. Requires a little bit of traveling for me, but I'm all for it. I need some road time. And hey, Allie's in the chat. And then let's see. I've got Christmas parades I'm doing this weekend. I'll film some stuff for you guys there. I'll try and schedule a live stream for maybe next week with the Canadians. And I think that's about it. I think that is about it. I think we've run the gamut. Allie's been lurking. That's okay. I do that every once in a while in Joe's lives. I'll just put his live on in the background, do stuff on the computer. It's been fun. And again, I'm sorry guys, I've been absent, but I'm trying to find the time to squeeze in moments to hang out with you guys. It's been a bit, and I need this. I need to hang out with this community. I need to have time to be creative, have time for doing this stuff, because it recharges me. Ultimately, I get depressed. You can even ask my girlfriend. Like, I get like down if I don't get a chance to go and see something new, if I don't get a chance to express myself creatively through film or writing or any of that stuff. Like, I really feel like I'm just kind of spinning my wheels, wasting time if I don't do this kind of stuff. And I just haven't had the time. I haven't had the energy because I'm just tired. I get through all of my day, all of my real life responsibilities, and I'm like, okay, now what? And I'm like, going to bed sounds great. I should probably just go to bed and start again tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do next week. And that sucks. It sucks to do that. And every week I'm just like, okay, this week I'm going to do a live stream. This week I'm going to go out and film something so I can put it up on the channel. And the next thing I know, the week's over, and then I have to be like, well, maybe, okay, next week I'm going to do this. And it's just a constant cycle. So today, when I was thinking about that, I thought to myself, when I get home, I'm going to pour a beer and I'm going to get on and do a random live stream. I don't care if there's people there or not. And I'm so glad you guys were here. It's been awesome. A few of you I haven't seen in quite a while. Good to see the rest of you too. More is coming, I swear. But since you guys are interested in the Christmas parade, some Ghostbuster stuff, I'll definitely film some stuff for you guys. If you're not following me on Instagram, that's another great place to track me down. I'll take some photos and post them there as well. But other than that, I think I'll let you guys go, get back to your lives. I'm going to go start dinner. I'm sure it's almost dinner time. Getting there. It's prep time. But it's been great seeing you guys. And I will let you know better next time when I'm going to do a random live stream and not just 20 minutes before. Anyway, have a good night, guys. It's been great. And as always, be safe, be respectful, have a good one. If I can remember how to end the stream. Ending these things is the worst part. I swear to God.